Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 4 of Multiblock Madness, where my cows were murdered, I think by the dragon that came by earlier. Dang it. But anyways, if we look up in the sky, we can see just the tail end of a solar eclipse. That means that on this day, the 25th day of the world, is our first solar eclipse. That means that every, I think it's like 36 days from now, there will be another one. That's relevant for Astral sorcery later. So we've written that down. That'll be potentially useful. All right, so you can see I've been doing a little looking ahead at what's coming up. Get back to progression though. Last episode we made our resonating wand up in the up on the mountains. I think the mountain was that away. For some reason the waypoint's on the ground, even though the altar itself is all the way up there. I kind of want to come up with a way to make traveling back and forth to that altar more easily. So there are waystones in the pack. Can these be crafted? 4 ender pearls per? That's a reasonable price considering I have a lot of ender dust. Sure, I'll pay that price. Let's make a waystone so we can teleport from our waystone right out front of our base to the one up there. The alternative is to go find one in a or not a jungle, another city, whatever, and steal it, a village. But since they're easy enough to craft, I'll just make, I'll make more than one probably. So let's see, yeah, it looks like we can only do 4 to 1 with this dust for now. If we blow it up, we get like, maybe we can do that. Probably our most efficient way. Later we can melt it to get, or pressurize it to get 1 to 1. I almost wonder, is there a ender pearl dupe in this pack? I somehow doubt it. It's only melts for 250. It requires you to be able to turn an ender pearl into 2 dusts somehow. And I don't see it. The only thing that can turn an ender pearl into 2 dusts is the tech reborn grinder, but this is a different dust. This is ender pearl dust. Whereas this, oh, but they have the same ore dictionary name. Maybe it's possible. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it too much. For now, let's make ourselves the waystone. Now that I'm down here under the altar, there appears to be a problem. The altar normally generates here, or the crystal. I think the dragon's nest overrode it. So we won't be able to use this one after all. But while I'm here, I'll loot my constellation papers, I guess. And we're going to have to go find another altar, because this one, quite clearly, is not going to be able to do the job. I couldn't find another altar, so backup plan, we'll do something else. However, I was able to find another chest, so unimpressive. Backup plan is to miniaturize ourselves a crafting table. I'm hoping that even without a crystal, at nighttime we can get enough starlight to meaningfully use this thing. So, buzz, 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 and we got one. Nice. That's complete. My goal is to make the, not even shown here, resonator, I believe it's called, but Fossic resonator. Just a basic one will do. So we need a bucket of starlight for that. But once we do this, we should be able to locate a star field, which should definitely have enough starlight. So if I just place this down, it has literally, no, it has a little bit. Let's see if we can craft, well, I guess we have to craft a light well next. I presume that's the next step. Wants me to touch a rock crystal. That I can do. I've mined a few already. I have a couple more, I have at least one more vein marked, but I haven't mined it because they don't stack once you mine them, so they take up all the room in the world. So a light well is crafted quite simply. For all these various types of marbles, I am just using a chisel. Oh look, chisel, wait, is chisel durability off? Sick, I love it when chisel durability is off. Anyways, I'm just using a chisel to convert between the various forms. And I've got marble in here somewhere. Here we go. It looks like this amount of starlight is not quite enough to craft, so let's keep waiting for nighttime to come. In the meantime, I'll grab the rest of my aquamarines. There is a way in this pack that we can set it to night, though, and that is using the hammocks. So I think it's, if I place this, oh, that's just a chicken. How does this work? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then stretch a hammock in between them. No? I have to figure out how exactly this hammock system works. Maybe they need to face each other? Okay, that still doesn't do it. Quest tells me something about it. Place the rope and nails 4 blocks apart. Maybe there needs to be 1, 2. That's clearly not 4. 3 times the charm? There we go. And then we can sleep on that, and it's basically an anti-bed. So we have our bed and our anti-bed. But it's still not quite the dead of night, and we still just barely aren't there. It might need the entire bar. Hopefully it reaches there tonight. I also realized I don't actually have the tech for it yet. How do I get the tech? Do I need to... I think you learn the tech by making a luminous crafting table the Astral sorcery way. Does picking it up count? No. So I do absolutely have to make a luminous crafting table the Astral sorcery way, because I think only by doing this do I gain the Astral sorcery research or whatever to move on. Alright, so I guess we're back to trying to find a altar. I don't have to teleport back to that altar anymore. Maybe there's one over here. Let's try it. Well, let's go hunting, I guess. Wasn't on the mountain, but I found another village, so I guess we'll that through and through. Place doesn't even have a blacksmith, so we'll just steal their waystone. Wow, these villages are cultists. Have a Thaumcraft portal in their farm. I guess we can mark that to come back later for, maybe. Maybe. There's another one, and there's a treasure chest. I believe that thing in the distance is some type of boss dungeon. In fact, let's just go check it out really quick. All the blocks on it, I believe, are unbreakable. Nope, they're not. Wait, yes they are. So we need like a key to get in or some way to teleport in, and there's a lot of nasty things inside. We'll not do it for now, although everything's dying. Maybe... Is this a bad idea? This seems like a terrible idea. Maybe... Will you let me in? No. I was gonna say, maybe we can teleport in with a sort of, or with a travel effect, but it doesn't look like it. Oh well. As for what I actually came here for, be down. If we put a crafting table underneath crystal, we should be able to... Oh, we don't just transform the table, do we? We actually need crafting. Alright, let's first loot this then. There's 5, I believe, total tier 1 constellations. So, hey, look, exactly 5 constellation papers so far. So that should unlock all of the tier 1 constellations for us. I think doing this craft, there we go, teaches us about exploration. And now that was what we were missing to be able to actually craft the light well. So let's go back home, and now hopefully we can make the light well. Because I definitely didn't think the light well took an entire, I guess I now have 2 of these. I definitely didn't think the light well took an entire light bar. It's just here. So it's a tiny bit more than we can get during the day. But if we take a nap, did that work? You can only nap during the day. Most assuredly still during the day. Can only nap, does it only advance like a couple hours? That's not so useful. Alright, well, a couple hours was enough that we got just enough light to start crafting. So let's make a couple light wells. I have materials on me for 8, although I don't know if we need a full 8 light wells. I love using time in a bottle with this, the arcane crafting table, because for some reason it's exceptionally slow. So you just time in a bottle it, and it makes it much faster. Alright, it also makes this animation freak out a little bit. But anyways, I did end up making all 8 light wells. So we have our light wells. We can make a sand generator if needed. A sand generator is also an aquamarine generator. Might be nice, but we'll skip that for now. I want to make these 2 items because apparently this is the next step in the progression. So there's a lot of text here. I'm going to skip reading that. But it looks like we just have to make the copper and the silver asbestos and then throw them into liquid starlight. All right, then step one, let's set up our light wells to make starlight for us. We don't have item conduits yet. Light wells take their item input the bottom as well as their fluid output the bottom. So ideally you have something that can both insert items and fluids, or insert items and extract fluids from one side. Maybe it'd be a bit excessive, but dang it, I want that those item conduits. So I'm gonna look around for villages with blacksmiths. This one does not appear to have one, unfortunately. And hopefully loot. Oh no, there's a blacksmith. What am I saying? And hopefully loot myself a pulsating iron ingots off the blacksmith loot chest. Oh, I've already. Wait, what's that? I haven't looted this one. Ah, victory! First time's a charm. I guess it takes a second to actually generate the loot. But all right, there we go. Couple more vibrant alloy. That's good. Always down for that. Well, that was a short journey. There's 30,000 ingot quests, and there's apparently not one. Oh, there's a pulsating iron one. We just don't have it unlocked yet. All right, so I don't get my free pulsating iron ingot. I get the 9 nuggets, which makes 24 item conduits, and I'm gonna have to make do with that. No conduit probe for me yet, so we have to configure each one individually. The conduit probe requires 4 pieces of electrical steel effectively to make. Can't do that. It is loot, but I think dungeon. What exactly is a dungeon? I don't know. I haven't found one yet. I think I've seen them in like desert temples, but I think desert temple is its own loot category, isn't it? Maybe no. Yeah, desert temple is its own loot category. So I'm not exactly sure what constitutes a dungeon. In any event, I don't have one, so I can't use it. As for what to actually melt in the light well, historically I've done either rock crystals or aquamarine, just depending on what I have more of. Technically, can we make aquamarine seeds? No, these are tier 3. But I see that radiant quartz and hold on. Shaped radiant quartz and raw radiant quartz both produce starlight. I couldn't find where in the configs the actual values are stored for like how much you get out of each. So I'm just gonna try it and see how it does. I'm gonna take 8 pieces, and I think let's try 8 pieces of shaped quartz first, and then we'll try 8 pieces of raw. And I don't really care that much about being completely optimal. I should probably actually set you to extract and actually set you to insert as well. There we go. So this makes liquid starlight. It's more, I guess it's also more efficient at night. Kind of curious. So sun's currently there. If I take a nap, I don't think it brings it all the way to nighttime. It brought it down a little bit. I don't know. Either way, it's kind of tough to measure how much starlight you get because there's both randomness and how long an item lasts, and it produces different amounts depending on whether it's day or night. But whatever, this will get us our starlight. So, where were we? That's starlight production. Now I have to make these 2 asbestos. These are made in the stamping thing, so we have to set up our embers gadgets. I'm gonna clear out this land a little bit here. I think we'll do our magic-y stuff. Actually, no, before we even do that, let's maybe find a more long-term home for our Astral sorcery stuff. So let's make the Phosic resonator and build this, take this down and rebuild it in a starfield. Starfields can be pretty rare, so hopefully we have one nearby. I mean, in the most ideal case, there's just one right here, but based on the amount of starlight I'm seeing, I doubt that that's the case. Yeah, I didn't think so. Oh, we were really close to one. That's actually super convenient to have a starfield literally right outside your base. I don't think I've ever just happened into one quite that close before. It can't quite tell at a glance if it's the densest level of starfield or not, but I mean, any starfield is probably sufficient. So there's that, and I'm gonna look around a little bit. I don't know why. What am I gonna do? Find a closer one? What are you? Hello there. Are you chill? Hello. A lantern? You appear to be chill. I'm not chill. Sorry, buddy. Alright, well, enough of that distraction, I guess. Let's, once the crystals break, we'll take them, and I guess the crystals themselves don't have to be in the star field. We want our altar to be in the star field. So for comparison, right now our altar is like 99% full. Alright, there's not going to be much comparison to do. But if we put our altar in the star field, it's a little bit more starlighty. 100% full instead of... This one's probably also 100% full by now. But you're going to have to trust me, there's more starlight in the star field. When most people think of vein miner, you think of a pool of destruction. But it can actually be used to somewhat reasonably landscape too, by just using its shapes so that it doesn't destroy literally everything, but you know, just takes out what you want. So anyways, landscaping complete. Whoop, hungry. Here's our simplest setup for ember stamping without a mixer. So we start by melting ember crystals into ember energy. Let me grab a few more of those. These came from the mine that we built down at Bedrock last episode. So just chuck them into this input chest. They get fed into the ember activator where they get turned into ember. I have this set up to be able to be replaced with the pressure refinery for more efficient ember conversion later. That feeds it into feeds the ember into the ember cell here, and the ember cell just acts as a battery for ember energy. It also acts as a splitter, splitting that energy into both the melter and the stamper. So they get, each of these machines needs ember to run. All right, the melter then can take various ores or ingots and melt them down. If you melt ores, it is an ore doubling machine. So in a way, this is our first ore doubler. It's also horrifically slow and kind of clunky. So it's like technically an ore doubler, but only technically. All right, when it melts it, it outputs, or it's item input the top, fluid output the top. And we take that fluid and pipe it into a stamper. Into the stamper rather. So the top half of the stamper takes the ember, the bottom half takes both the item and the fluid. So we pipe molten silver here and the ember shards, and that gets stamped into the silver aspectus, and then we do the same with copper to get the copper aspectus. So that should make our 2 of each. I don't actually know why we need 2 of each, but I assume there's a good reason. And then we just have to take these and throw them into buckets of liquid starlight. By the way, so far only 1 of my 8 crystals has cracked. That basically means that these crystals, or quartz, whatever, last an incredibly long time. So put that on the ground, chuck it in. 1, 2. By the way, this starlight, if you stand in it, gives you night vision. Yeah, minor little thing. So there's my 2 silvers, and then 1 copper, and when this, it takes us so long to melt down copper. Well, it takes us so long to melt down anything. Technically, because it's just turning the item into a fluid, you don't have to use the embers melter. You're allowed to just use like a Tinker's Construct melter, Smeltery. Well, whatever you call this little guy. It is a melter, right? Not that I don't think this thing is actually any faster. It's also out of fuel, but I don't think it's actually any faster than than the embers melter, anyways. So probably doesn't have any meaningful gains to swap that out. Let's refuel you so you keep doing what you do. Dash that on us. And are you done yet? Can I get my second copper? There we go. I wonder if I throw them both in at once, does it use, like, does it transform them both? It doesn't. Didn't think it would. But it was worth a shot. All right. Quest complete. I assume these are used. Hey, look, we get a free bucket of Starlight. That's not useful in the slightest. I assume these are used somehow in the process of making the Smeltery. Yep. So I think I'm going to... we'll leave our melter up. Maybe it'll be useful for something. But let's see about making ourselves a beginner Smeltery. The smelter is probably a little bit too big to live inside, so like everything else, it's going outside. Really, that house is not going to hold much stuff going forward, I feel. But yeah, we'll start with a 5x5. It's moderately large, but not so large that it takes up too many seared bricks, because I don't have that many. And then we'll start, put the Well, I like putting the controller on corners. Doesn't really matter. Put the controller here. Tank here. Oops, that's a drain. The tank here. And the drain on... Putting the drain on the corners means you get to access it on two different sides. Now, for now, I guess we'll sink our table and our basin into the ground, but once we raise it up, we'll raise the drain by a block. So anyways, casting basin. We'll use a smart output instead of a casting table, just because, well, it's a lot faster. And ender fluid pipes. These are great because they don't have a buffer, so we can set them on active with signal, and then we can only, that way they'll only pull the fluid out when we, power them with a lever. For fueling the smeltery, turn that off. There's a thing specifically added in this pack where we can melt ember shards down. Kind of expecting this to be a little faster. That's all right. Faster. And this will give us molten ember, which says it is exceptionally hot. According to JEI, it is... Oh, it doesn't tell me. Somewhere it tells me. I don't know. Molten ember is one of the hottest fluids in the game. Maybe I need a bucket of it. There we go. 6,300 Kelvin. That is, yeah, very hot. So I imagine that means that it'll just melt things extremely quickly. So what we can do is throw into here now to speed up the process of growing our smeltery. We can give it cobblestone. Oh wow, I have cobble spread across every chest in my base. Probably none of them have a tremendous amount of it. Take the cobblestone, compress it, and then melt that. So I'm hoping that the molten ember, does it rise? I guess it's lighter than air. I didn't know that lighter than air liquids in the seer tank animated from the top down. That's cute. But anyways, this should melt relatively quickly. Definitely faster than if I was using plain old whatever lava as fuel. I think it also lasts longer, probably. All right, so that's seared stone, and then we can just, I guess we can cast as both forms. If I just come back into here, nab this mold, take the rest of our ember as well. Oopsie, got that in there. All right, so into you. Until we can make the basin upgrade, the smart output cannot be, yeah, we can't make this because it needs dawnstone and night slime, and geez, we're a pain in the butt. But the smart output can't be a casting table, it can only be a casting basin. But if we turn both of these on, no, extract, oh, you have to set both sides. Oh, I suppose this is gonna jam because this has an internal buffer, huh? That's alright, then we'll just turn this off. We'll cast it all as ingots, and then we just have to pull out of there into a chest. And voila, automated casting of seared bricks. We can speed it up by just time bottling that. I would like to get more than one output slot here, I guess. That'll let it, so that, you know, let it buffer a couple outputs. How do we make that? Those are these, I believe. Okay, so we can do the basic one. Basic will have to do. Well, that's a pickaxe. Fortune 10. I ran out of copper, so I went mining for some, and yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Test it out. How much quartz do I get off one? 5? I mean, I guess that's probably 2.5 is the average, or 2.2. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's still, I think it's diamond pickaxes are mining level 3, so they can't mine everything. Let's see how Fortune 10 does on rock crystal ore. So I have basically a full inventory, and off one ore we have 10. That one got us, we were here, right? So like another 10. Pretty good. All right, well, now we have tons of rock crystals. From all that mining, I got enough experience on my pickaxe to put the last unbreakable on it, or the last unbreaking, whatever, reinforcement, to make it unbreakable. So durability no longer matters, and we're about to actually level up again. 16 EXP. When we get that, we can sharpen it to make it whatever mining level. So then we'll have basically our endgame pickaxe. We just have to upgrade its mining level as we go. So let me make sure this is all off. If I dump some copper and tin in here, it makes bronze, unsurprisingly. So once that all alloys into bronze, that can be some of our... Well, I can start pouring it now, right? Yeah, because the pipe doesn't have a buffer, right? This will lock the output to bronze while this transforms. But anyways, grab some of our bronze ingots here. That completes this quest, and this gives us our choice of tier 2 tokens. So we can choose between lands place. Yeah, I kind of hate between lands, so maybe not. Ores, nope, that one's super easy. Peace candle and some nothing terribly useful. Tech parts. Yeah, we'll have to make a lot of that stuff to make research easier. Spoiler, I probably just cheat on Bombcraft research anyways. Alright, given that, we'll take the Between Lands token because I don't want anything to do with Between Lands. Apparently we can make more. Isn't this the... We can't reasonably make more. Alright, so from here, which token was that? Exploration. Give me the tier 2 exploration token, which gives us these rewards. Excellent. And that more or less completes tier 2. There's some stuff that's unlocked here that we can make now, like we should probably make the pressure refinery. But I saw that we've now unlocked tier 3, which is all about steel. Look at this. We've already done this quest. I'm ahead of the curve. That there seems like a fine stopping point for today. So we'll come back next time, continue our journey in chapter 3, work towards steel. Even though we've already seen some of this stuff here, we can get to the point where we can mass produce it. There's Botania up in here, lots of fun stuff. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.